Now this week I'm going to talk about the Cox Plate and the Caulfield Cup more specifically. Now the Cox Plate, everyone's talking about Winks versus Hartnell. Now it's confirmed this morning, and thankfully it was, because all I was doing all week was preparing to talk about Winks and Hartnell, that Hartnell is definitely going to the Cox Plate. Now I think this is mainly because Scottish, the internationals, come in and they didn't want to verse two Godolphin horses up against each other in the Caulfield Cup. So why put your two good horses in one race when you can split them up? Now, I have a feeling that John O'Shea really wanted to send Hartnell to the Caulfield Cup, especially at 55 kilos, but it's probably the right choice for the global operation that is Godolphin. Now, Winks this year ran to a rating of 127 in the Doncaster. Now, just remember that. Now, everyone's talking about how good Hartnell was going, but even with his massive win on the weekend, it was only to a rating 123, which Winks has already run this preparation in the spring. Now, I think Winks has a bigger ceiling than Hartnell, and that is, probably shown a little bit in the market with the $2 favourite and then, $3.20 or something for Hartnell. And everyone's going, oh, Hartnell can, bridge the gap, he looks the better horse. But don't forget, Winks is a champion. Now, she's going for 12 straight on the weekend in a 3-horse field, and I think she'll get that, and then she'll go on to the Cox Plate in 3 weeks' time, and she'll just demolish them there again. 2 lengths on the weekend will probably be 3 to 4 in the Cox Plate. Hartnell is really good, but Winks is definitely your safest bet for the Cox Plate. Looking outside of that though, I like Blackheart Bar. Now he's really impressive, Darren Weir. He's the third line in betting at the moment. And I think that until Hartnell was definitely confirmed going there, he was probably going to be the Quinella horse. Now that those two are going there, I think that, Blackheart Bar is still got a place chance, but going to need a lot of luck and a good run. The other two horses I like are Lucia Valentina and Vadamos. Now, you're probably thinking, who is Vadamos? Now, Vadamos is a French horse that has a lot of form over the 1,600 metres, but I think has been trained up for this 2,000 metre assault. And the horse looks amazing. It landed in Australia last week, and I've had a look at some of its images on racing.com and, on social media, and it just looks fit and huge. This horse is going to be taking a world of beating, and you're still getting that $17, $18, which is, quite ridiculous for an import of that quality. And Lucia Valentina. Now, I really like this horse, but I just heard this morning that Damien Oliver's getting off to ride something else, and that confused me a little bit because I really thought that she was going really well, especially after that third last start. Now, I think the 2,000 metres fresh for her, because she's going to have a month between runs, is perfect. So she could surprise a little bit of a price as well. But I think that it's going to be between Winks and Hartnell. Winks is the bet for me, and I hope that she gets up and makes it an impressive double up in the 2 Cox Plates. Now the Caulfield Cup. Now, lucky enough this year, I'm going to head out and have a watch myself live, and I can't wait. I'm ecstatic. It's only in a week and a half time, and I just can't wait to get there myself. Now, I think that Jamaica is definitely the bet. Now, Hartnell has decided to go to the Cox Plate, as I said, and I just really don't see anyone beating Jamaica. Now, if she has to draw in, though, if she draws out, I'm probably going to go away from her a bit, especially that rock bottom price of $3.20 or whatever it is at the moment, $3.80, because if you look at all her races plus 2,400 metres and she draws out, she never wins. She always finishes 3rd, 4th, 5th, even when she's starting at the $4.20 favourite. Just go back, have a look at all her replays, and you'll see what I mean. Every time she draws out, she's just no good. So if she gets a good gate, like she has the last 2 starts, that's why she's been so impressive, then I definitely think a huge bet on the win, and then an even bigger bet probably on the place, just to make sure, cover myself, that she's the one to beat. Now, Real Love has come out of absolutely nowhere in the last few weeks. Now, I tipped a couple weeks ago in the Naturalism, and I really thought that if she could win that, she'd be good in the Caulfield Cup. Didn't win that, unfortunately, for us, but then backed up one in the JRA on Friday last week. And I think that with a lightweight, she is a chance, but God, she chokes at the wrong time for us. And I think that I'm going to stick away from her because she's burnt me too many times. She burnt me in Adelaide, and she burnt me in Queensland, and now she burnt me again. So I've only basically made even money on her my entire punting life. So I'm probably going to stick away from her. But that lightweight chance is definitely something to watch as well. Scottish, how good is Scottish? Now, to split Hartnell up with Scottish and put Scottish in means that, they must think that Scottish has a pretty damn good chance of winning. Now, it's, coming to the $9 this morning, and I think that's probably the price you want. $9 is about where he's at the moment. I would have taken the 15s, the 9s are, basically on the nose there. If you look at his form overseas, it's getting better and better. Horses are coming out and winning, horses are coming out and placing that finish behind him, around him in different events in Europe. And I think that if he gets his European form, brings that here, he's going to be tough to beat. Now, also a gate with him is probably the concern, and I think if he draws well, that he'll be in the mix. Next up, the United States. Now, a few runs back, I was thinking, wow, she looks in fantastic form. And she, finished fast down the outside and she got wound in all the way to 15-1 for the Caulfield Cup. And I was thinking, wow, if she gets, put out to 20, 21, 22, I'd be even thinking about a bet myself. But unfortunately, she's missed the last 2 starts and I really don't know where she's at. I haven't seen any trials, I haven't seen any prep work, anything on the track. I'm not sure if she's injured or not, but I'm a little bit concerned with where she is in her prep. If she was racing this weekend, I'd give her a little forgive, see what she's got, and maybe into the Caulfield Cup. But I'm not sure at this point if she's going to race next weekend or she's just missing her whole campaign altogether. The last 2 I want to talk about is Gallant and R. Ivanhoe. Now, both these horses need it wet. So if it starts raining on the Saturday morning, these are the 2 I'm going to start, moving towards before I move towards Jamaica. Now, Gallant has impressive form around a lot of good runners and won the Sydney Cup in autumn at 3,200 metres. I think it's probably more of a 2-miler than a 1.5 miles, but you never know, the lightweight could surprise, and our Ivanhoe is in the very same boat. Is a 2-miler but could surprise at 2,400, and when it gets wet and boggy, that's when these horses come to life. So in summation, where do you bet? Now, I like in the Caulfield Cup, Jamaica at this point. Now, you're thinking that's obvious, but just wait and see. If she doesn't get a good gate, I'm going to probably drift away from it, and Scottish will probably be the one I land on. Now, both are under $10 now, which is not ideal, but either way, you're going to get good value for money because one of those 2 will probably be the ones to take it out. Now, in the Cox Plate, as I said, Winks versus Hartnell is what everyone's talking about, but Winks is just a jet. I think that's a safe bet, and even at the $2, it's maybe a touch of overs, but probably where you want to get it. If you're getting into $1.90, $1.80, I would think about forgetting it because it's probably going to be a little bit of a coin flip, and if she gets the better run, she'll win. Hartnell gets the better run, it's going to be a contest. But definitely Winks for me and Jamaica at this point.